The Shane Falco is a nice touch, though.
It is. It is.
Probably the greatest Christmas gift ever.
This was a great one. This is a great one. But that's the thing about left-handed quarterbacks is you don't need to worry about the left tackle position like the Bills are this offseason. Deion Dawkins is not the answer at left tackle. Can we just settle that argument now?
We could bury that 6 feet under.
We drafted a guard and moved him to tackle because Dawkins is a guard at the NFL.
Yeah,
he's a guard. So
isn't it supposed to go the other way?
Yeah, it is.
You're supposed to draft a tackle, then when he's in his 10th year, you move him down to guard.
That's exactly what happens. Or you don't worry about the left guard or the left tackle position. You draft a left-handed quarterback and you say, we're fine at right tackle. But since when is Jordan Mills all right?
No.
What? That's not the answer either.
He's no bueno. We're gonna have to need a couple bookends next year.
No.
Well, is Richie here next year?
I don't know. I don't think so. So, I mean, you look at McDermott's big on character guys, right?
Yeah.
So, from a character guy perspective, I think he fits. But you only have 28 guys under contract next year, and you look at $103 million in cap space. So, if you shed Glenn, you save like 9. If you shed Jerry Hughes, who's been completely ineffective, he's only played 66% of snaps this season. Which is the lowest he's ever played as a starter for the Bills. So you shed him and his 4 sacks this year. He's not really the character guy that fits anyway, so that saves you like $7 million. You look at shedding, some other guys. I mean, you could be easily at 126 million in cap space, but you only have 24 guys on your roster. And like we talked about all this draft pick capital. Where is it now? It's all in the low 20s.
Oh wow!
It's all in the 20s.
Ridiculous.
When was
you're not gonna be able to fill a roster with anybody?
And didn't we talk about like worst case scenario for the quarterback situation was the Bills making the playoffs? Wasn't that worst case scenario?
Yes, unfortunately.
Because now what do?
Well, you got 2 first-round picks in the 20s. That's the problem that you have.
Yeah.
Initially. And then, well, how much does Tyrod come off the books next year if you decide to
he's only marked on overthecap.com for like 3 right now, but that's because it's a carryover.
Ugh.
Here's an interesting thought for you, right? You've got these low 20s picks. You have Trey White in your secondary next year, and that's about the size of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Washington has shed all of Josh Norman's guaranteed money.
Yes.
So what if you take one of your first-round picks and swap it with Washington for Norman? And you have Trey White on one side and Norman on the other. Norman works in McDermott's system.
Absolutely.
It's a home run. It's a home run. Like
and their focus is going to be on the quarterback position in the draft anyway.
Right. So, I mean, you traded Watkins for E.J. Gaines because you wanted a zone corner, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what Gaines is a zone corner. Played great, but he's going to be $6 million next season on the market. Injury problems, but played really good when healthy. I think there's a team out there that'll take a chance on him for $6 million. So you could spend $6 million on that, or you can spend, $11 million on Josh Norman.
So you're saying you get rid of Gaines or drop him down to slot corner?
Does he work in slot?
I don't know. I just love that my pick in the offseason of Leonard Johnson, nobody wondering who that was, ended up being a terrific slot corner. Obviously, he didn't have the numbers Nickel Roby-Coleman did.
No, he didn't.
But then again, you give Wade Phillips all those toys, he's gonna make something of it now.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
But that's funny right there.
Yeah, I don't know if Gaines would play in the slot. That's a really good thought. I don't know. He's got the speed to do it. I don't know. Maybe that might work.
He could. I mean, we can check out the scouting report. I don't see how it was.
Yeah.
I know someone's got one.
Get some!
Simple to the point. Did you think the rebranding names at all?
No. I went on to GoDaddy to see what else I could find. I went down a dark hole pretty quick, so it wasn't very effective. Okay, so you're sitting at 24.
Okay.
It's just about 26. The Bills are sitting at 26.
21. But okay.
Well. So between 21 and 26. Arguably between 21 and 26.
That works.
Mayfield's still on the board. Mayfield is this year's Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel went at 21, I think. I think he went at
22.
Went at 22.
That was the cavalcade of picks. Number 22. It was
yeah.
Whedon went 22.
Brady
Colt
Quinn.
McCoy.
Didn't Brady Quinn go at 22?
Brady Quinn. No, not Colt McCoy. I'm sorry. Yeah, Brady Quinn.
Yeah.
And JP Lossman. Cheers.
Yeah. One for my homies.
The best quarterback in the draft from the waist up. I still don't know what that means.
Hatred is officially happening right now on YouTube. Yup!
And there's Eli 37 still playing. Now that's an interesting conversation.
That is a wonderful conversation.
The whole mess in New York, because Gettleman's in New York now, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the odds are Brandon Marshall ends up in Buffalo next year? I mean, why not? You already brought in Bolden.
That's
right.
too,
You brought in
yeah.
that veteran player.
Yeah, but Bolden was a higher character guy than Marshall was. Even though Marshall, later in his career, he became that role model for a bunch of younger players. After he was, what was he diagnosed with? Was he diagnosed with something?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, Marshall was diagnosed with something, and then after he got treatment for it, he became a better player and better person on and off the field. So, yeah, that's one of those things. He could be one of those characters.
Is it bipolar disorder?
I think it was. I think he was bipolar.
Now, that would explain Denver.
Come on, Jay Cutler would drive anybody nuts.
That's true. Well, okay, so my answer is Baker Mayfield.
Yes.
And don't get me wrong, I think there is a huge contingent out there of people who are going to completely be against that, and I understand. But from a background perspective, here's a guy who is a walk-on, right? Didn't get recruited, walked on, is the character of his team. He is his team. Mm-hmm. And I don't think he walks into an NFL locker room with the same vibrato that he walks into his current locker room. Those guys believe in him, and he is the guy on that team. Mm-hmm. He is the pit bull.
But he worked to become
exactly
that guy.
He's that Papa Bear. So I don't think it is an entitlement issue with him like it is with some of these other athletes. I think it is an earned issue. I think he walks into a locker room and he knows his role early, and his role is to learn how to be an NFL quarterback. Yeah. I don't think he's in a place where that's not a priority for him. We've seen that bomb out with other players. He's got all the talent, but insert off the field problems.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, if you think about it this way, Aaron Rodgers, let's just say, for example, and if you look through the history of all the quarterbacks in the NFL, the really great ones have the biggest chip right on their shoulder.
Yeah.
For some reason at all. Aaron Rodgers had to sit behind Favre. Brady was drafted 199. Any other great quarterback that you want to talk about in the NFL, they've had a huge... Steve Young made the Hall of Fame because he had to deal with Joe Montana all the time.
Yeah.
So you talk about all that stuff. This guy was a walk-on, ended up becoming the starter. He played like 40 games, didn't he?
Yeah.
In college. So he ended up progressing to that spot, and then everyone wants to talk about all of his antics and all that stuff. But how different is that than like Aaron Rodgers doing a discount double check after he runs for a touchdown?
Sure.
Celebrating, having that bravado. Sure. Rodgers didn't come in the league with that. Mm-hmm. He progressed to that once he became a starter and he became a great player in the NFL. So it could be one of those things where, a lot of people, when they want to say all this stuff about these guys' off-field issues, I mean, they're kids. This guy's 22 years old.
Well, Dan Dawkins had off-the-field issues.
Yeah, and he was able to come into a locker room of a veteran line.
Right.
And, you got Wood, Incognito, Glenn. They're going to straighten you up real quick, and you're not going to be there very long. Ask Cyrus Kwanzaa.
Yeah, no kidding.
So,
Deuces.
Gone. His younger brother's playing in Washington.
Yep.
He's starting. Sure. But, I mean, that's one of those things. They're going to straighten you out quick. But the thing is, if we bring a guy in like that, who's going to be the mentor to him? Is it going to be Dennison? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
It's bad.
Sorry.
It's like cursing in my house.
Why? Because I'm cash, I'm money, I'm Mr. ROI, and it's thrill ride or die.
Audio clips today brought to you by Jimmy Preston, One Man Thrill Ride, over at AbsoluteSavage.com. Hit up his newsletter. You want to say it with me?
Yup! See ya, dink!